Dear listener, this is Sincerely Sav, a love letter to growth, to pain that became purpose, and to the girl I'm still becoming. Every episode is a reflection, a heartbeat of my journey. If you've ever felt like you're becoming someone new, you're in the right place. Hello everybody and welcome back to episode 2 of Sincerely Sav podcast. I am so grateful you guys decided to tune back in. Host Sav, and you can find me on all social medias at DollarsignAV if you're not already following me. Go ahead, get comfortable guys, because I have a feeling today's going to be a good episode. I've been looking forward to this one. I want to talk about 2025. This season did not come with perfect conditions, but I chose to bloom anyways. Hence the title of today's episode. We will be talking about how to grow through hard seasons. Because that is exactly what you need to do when things are getting hard. You have to grow through them. Not just go through them, but grow. And that's what I feel like 2025 was for me. It was a year that God was planting seeds in me. It was a growing season. I feel like as challenging and as difficult as the year was, it was also so rewarding. Like, I really saw God move mountains for me. It was the end of 2024 when I decided I am no longer backsliding. I am giving my life to God. No matter who I lose or what I lose, I am taking the road less traveled, and it's just that. And so for me, 2025, I felt like God was like, okay, stand on business. So I was definitely seeing my faith tested and seeing myself, being shaken, but unshakable, if that makes sense. Like, I seen the world trying to knock me off balance, and I, instead of running from God, found myself running to. Like, I'm so proud of myself as I say this. I even wrote this in my prayer journal this morning when I was just saying my gratitude for the year, because today is New Year's when I'm recording this video. So it was a perfect day to sit back and reflect. But what I wrote in my journal this morning was I found myself, instead of running from God, running to God with all of my issues. I was in my Bible last year. Not honestly as much as I wanted to. That is my resolution for this year, is to actually be a consistent Bible reader. I would love to finish my Bible this year. But I found myself running to the Word when all else failed. I was worshiping, y'all. I was on my hands and knees telling God thank you. And when things got hard, just begging God to show up. And He never left me stranded in 2025. And so that is what I am most grateful for looking back on the year, because it was not an easy year by any means, y'all. Like, just to name a few things, I almost lost my job this year. I still have my job by the grace of God. And this is actually a testimony too, where I can say, God will show up in the craziest ways. He heard my prayers, because before I lost my position, I was praying because, God, I was so tired. I was so overwhelmed. Please do something. I don't want to lose my job, but please, I cannot carry this burden anymore. And I ended up losing the position I was in. I had to stay at home for a week and a half with no pay. But because of this situation, the wheels of my brain start working, okay? Because I'm pregnant at this time. I'm, months away from maternity leave. I cannot afford to not be working. I start making digital products. I really dive into my business and rededicate myself to my business, because I find myself I'll put everything into my business and then I'll stray away. So it drew me back into my purpose. But there was a lot of other challenging things other than that happened this year that also worked out for our greater good. We did have to move houses, which was really, really unfortunate, because I loved the house that we lived in before. But now we're a lot closer to family, and we're in a much better, safer area. And my daughter loves her school. She loves going to school. So A+ in my book. There was even times this year, y'all, I'm not even gonna lie, we was eating rice for dinner. But everything has worked out, y'all. I got snacks up in this house now. So God was like, you will not lack anything. You will not go without. I promise y'all. Financially,
2025 was just not our year. We had so much car troubles too, y'all. Like, oh my gosh, literally, I believe it was the month of July or June, because it was right before I had Selah. 3 flat tires. Literally, before we had to go to Florida, y'all. 2 weeks before we had to go to Florida for Christopher's graduation. Another 3 flat tires. I don't know. It was just like the worst times because, like I said, in the summer, I was about to have the baby. In December, we were about to go to Florida to see Christopher graduate. If the devil was not working overtime, y'all, he was punching that clock day in, day out, no breaks. He did not take a lunch. All of that to say, as difficult as all of those things were this past year, there was a lesson in all of it. In my relationship, I feel like God was trying to show Christopher and I how to work as a team, because we have had our issues in the past where we could not work together and we could not communicate. All of these things helped us this year actually learn how to cooperate, and teamwork will make the dream work. And in my finances, I feel like God was trying to teach me, honestly, how to steward my money correctly. I'm sure we've all had our history with financially irresponsible decisions. I know I'm guilty. So I feel like a lot of the hardships I experienced this year really taught me how to prioritize and how to be responsible with my money. And I had to set some boundaries this year. And because of this, unfortunately, I lost some friendships. I lost some relationships too that did mean the world to me. I'm no longer living in my flesh. I'm living in my word. So I have to hold myself more than anybody accountable to these standards, because they're not my standards. Like, they're not mine. I promise y'all. Your girl trying to get into heaven. Seriously though, what I'm trying to get at is that I have a history of people pleasing. I have a history of bottling up my feelings towards other people. Like, say you do something to me and I don't agree with it, I would never tell you. I would just walk around holding a grudge that you don't even know about. And that's unfair. That's unfair to not just you, but it's unfair to me, because I'm hurting myself doing that. It's very unhealthy, and I'm very proud of myself that this year I was able to accomplish that. It's truly a way of softly demanding your respect and unleashing my power, if that makes any sense. Because I'm growing up and I see it in myself. I'm stepping into womanhood and I'm a queen. I'm a boss. And I expect to be treated as such from everybody and everyone. Now, I want to talk about you. I want to talk to you guys about how can you grow through a hard season. Because if you clicked on this video, I'm pretty sure it's because you're either in a hard season or you've experienced a hard season and you struggle with growing out of them. So listen up, because blooming, it's not loud success. And it's not about results either. It's about reframing growth. It's about showing up when you're tired. And a lot of us are mothers. We don't have a choice. We have to get up when we're tired. I want to go to sleep, but I got to take my daughter to school. I got to go to work. I got to record a podcast episode. Starting Monday, I got to clock in for school. I got assignments to do. I don't have time to waste. I got to get up and grind. If y'all want the honest truth, I've been recording this episode in my bathroom, and I just learned the acoustics are amazing. But I'm in here because it's the quietest place in my house, and I have Selah in my arms because in the midst of recording this episode, she woke up, and now this is the only way that I can keep her quiet enough for me to record. It's about prioritizing your peace over proving anything. Just like I mentioned earlier, I had to set boundaries this year, and they were uncomfortable, but I didn't have to prove anything to anybody. The only person I had to prove anything to was myself and God. It's about showing obedience without an applause. It's about doing the right thing when you know it's hard. And because of that, sometimes you might just grieve in silence. There's been plenty of times when I come in the bathroom, when I cry, or I cry in my car, because I know I'm doing the right thing, but it feels like the world is trying to confuse me. I know I have a mission in place, and I have to keep going, whether there's someone in the audience cheering me on or not, if there's 100 people in the crowd or one, I have to keep my gaze forward and just show up. And it's about healing silently. You don't need an audience to heal. It's about really doing the inner work. Like I said in the beginning of this episode, I went to God this year with every single problem I had. Just me and God, having conversations, singing songs, laughing. It's all a part of the process. I'm going to be honest, there's even days I'm yelling at God, but I'm heard. He hears me. He hears my pain. He hears my joy. He hears it all. One thing I wrote in my notes for recording this episode was, you don't need confidence to be called, just willingness. So if you know you have a calling or a purpose, a mission, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter if you actually believe in yourself. It only matters that you show up for yourself. So in closing, I just want to say, if you feel like you're behind, you're not. A lot of you are probably like me, the youngest in the room. So you're much farther ahead than you think. If you feel invisible, growth happens underground. Once God places that seed in you, think about an actual seed in the ground. You don't immediately see the flower. The roots are forming underground. So once that flower blooms, once it's in nature and it starts raining and it's weather outside, it's windy, it can blow, but the flower is rooted. It's in the ground. It can't be shaken. It might sway, but it can't be shaken. If you're tired, rest. God calls us to rest. Come to me, all who are weary and heavy burdened, I will give you rest. It doesn't cancel out your purpose to rest, I promise you. Just take a breather and restart tomorrow. And that concludes episode 3 of the Sincerely Sav podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you were able to take something from this episode. I hope it resonated with you. Share it with your friends and family. There's a message in here for everybody. And be sure to tune into episode 3. We'll be talking about the art of letting go. And remember to bloom at your own pace. Until the next time, Sincerely Sav.